It's showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
Saturday matinee, Saturday matinee. Hey, clear the way in your podcast feed. Hey, you, let us through. Movie news indeed. Oh, come, we're the best of your pods and be advised. Make way, here they come. Trailer talk, be our chum. Oh, you're gonna love these guys. Mr. Andy Nelson, Mr. Pete Wright, and yes, that was a satirical rendition of Prince Ali from 1992's Aladdin, where the title character rode into town on an elephant. Why is this important? Because for our listeners in the Kingdom of Thailand, this Saturday happens to be National Elephant Day. And in tribute, the Next Reel's Kings and I, Rob Cabasco, present to you Saturday Matinee. Gentlemen.
Wow. I'm a little disappointed that I'm not Prince Andy.
Oh, you got
that really.
Wait, back it up. Let's do it again. We're going to reset. Everybody, we're going to reset.
I didn't.
That's what I like to say. What's happening right now?
I should have thought that. But you know, it's great because elephants are my favorite animal. So it's perfect. It's like I was meant to be on this show. So thank you.
It was meant to be.
This is quite wonderful. Well, we welcome everyone listening to us here on a Saturday matinee. We do have the Kings, and I love how I threw in the King and I reference. I mean, how can you?
That was nice.
Yeah, you know, we're going to try.
Shall we dance?
So we have some wonderful stuff to talk about. How are you guys doing? Is everyone like over WandaVision?
No.
Have we recovered?
Absolutely not. I'm still deeply into it, and I'm as excited for this week's Making of WandaVision episode that drops tomorrow in our WandaVision bubble as I was the finale. It was great. It's great. We didn't even talk about it because we were in the bubble last week. We were in the bubble.
Right.
You were. Yeah, I know you were. It was, and you know, as somebody who had watched it by the time I listened, it was kind of fun to hear you all trying to figure out, you know, how much you might have enjoyed it, but you weren't quite sure as you talked about it.
I think, Rob, check me on this. I think the verdict is we liked it.
Oh, yes. Well, you know, and I told Kyle this. Kyle and I, of course, talked right immediately after, very soon after we had both watched it. And for me, it's amazing. I mean, the whole thing's amazing. But the two things that I came away with is, one, there was something that was never even on my board that happened.
Okay.
And do you know what? The White Vision getting his memories and escaping.
Yeah.
Like,
where is White Vision? Whither White Vision?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Like, that was never even in my universe on that. So that's amazing. The second thing, and I'm going to stand by this, and if I have to go down on the ship, I will. No, that's still Pietro from the X-Men universe.
Oh, Rob,
his mind was wiped. He's the witness in the witness protection program. That photo of him is not a headshot. He's not an out-of-work actor. That was that shot to tell him, hey, this is who you are. Remember your name.
Yeah.
No,
No, believe me, I am relentlessly Team Cabasco. I just worry that we're going to be disappointed.
Yeah, I think they just said, let's mess with you.
Yeah, I feel a little bit like they're trolling us. It's a Feige troll.
I just loved that they found a way to bring him in.
Yes.
And if nothing else, it was their opportunity. Because I would imagine before, who knows? I don't know when they had all the deals in place. I don't know when they started working on the ideas of this project. So who knows? It could have just been some other person. It could have been initially the plan was to bring in Aaron Taylor Johnson to actually do it. And then with this whole deal and everything working so well, they're like, you know what, let's just change it up a little bit and then we'll just make it this guy who lives in this town who happens to be the same actor who played it in the other version, the other franchise. And I don't know. It ended up just being really fun. And just essentially for me at this point, it was a fun nod to at least say, you know what, we're now starting to think about how we can integrate things.
And they didn't have to do any American Horror Story references or anything. Like, I mean, just let that, just leave that. No murder house.
Although it would have been great if at the very end he did have a room with his little black gimp outfit.
I mean, right? That would have been kind of funny. No, that's it. I mean, you're right. I can't wait. You know, we're talking about it in the post they're concluding it with this behind the scenes sort of look at the show, and then we barely catch our breath, and we've got Falcon the Winter Soldier. So there's a lot going on.
I'm very excited for Falcon the Winter Soldier.
We've integrated the whole thing into our Friday movie nights. So the first thing we do is we watch one of these shows, and then we do a short film, and then we do whoever's pick of the feature film. So it's kind of a fun little way to kind of kick things off for the evening. It's great.
You know who's also very excited is the executives at Disney Plus.
Oh my, so, yes, they are.
As we've been
I'm sorry, you can't find them, but they're rolling in gold doubloons in a giant vault somewhere.
Look, and
Scrooge McDuck really defines who these people are at this point in time.
So there was some news things that we had found. Obviously, one of the big news is in the world of streaming services was that Disney Plus announced they have reached their milestone of 100 million subscribers. That article, I found another little segment, Charter, which I've referenced before. They did a little segment here where they said that based on this, their current prediction is to have 230 million subscribers by 2024.
You downplayed the lead there because they met their mark of 100 million subscribers. That was planned to be around 2024, 2025. Yeah. They met it in 16 months. Now they're saying, because initially they're thinking, you know what, we hope to have 60 million to 90 million by 2024. And so.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating. I think this story as a business story is going to go down as a true artifact of the pandemic, right? Like, I feel like that acceleration, I think their original targets were perfectly rational and well-founded and well-based in the data that they had at the time. And then the world crushed and everybody turned to these streaming services and they just blew up. And I think that's going to be the story, is what the world health crisis did for streaming services, because I just don't think there are going to be a lot of people who plateau out and say, oh, now I can go outside again. I'm going to cancel my Disney Plus service. I think what's really interesting about that, what will be really interesting about that, is what it does to their content plans, right? I mean, because we have Falcon and Winter Soldier, we have WandaVision, but what are the other big shows that are coming? When you look at the Nielsen ratings for February, you see it's mostly Netflix for the series stuff, and then Disney Plus takes all the top movies, or takes half of the top movies, I think is how it shook out. But it's mostly Netflix for series, and so what is it going to be besides WandaVision, besides Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that's going to really continue to drive that sort of new appetite?
If there's something I think that we can learn from, I mean, the challenge is COVID. Because COVID is still there, it's very difficult to still work in production. And luckily, with these projects that we're seeing now, they were largely already shot by the time COVID hit and really started making productions that much more difficult. So really it was the post-production process. Yeah. I would imagine, and that's going to be a challenge because yes, they're growing like crazy. It's going to be hard to catch up content-wise because they just can't run out and do a ton of production now that they have all this money to do it with. That being said, I think the lesson that maybe they're learning is that, wow, hey, you know what? We were able to do it with Raya and The Last Dragon. We were able to do it with Soul. Animation allows, it's an industry that allows people to do all their work from home. They don't ever have to go to set. And there's big credits at the end of both of those films saying, hey, you know what? We really appreciate all you people working from home. We figured out this system and it was really hard, but we made it work. We're really appreciative of it. So I wouldn't be surprised if What If really is going to start getting, moved up or something, or more animated projects, because it seems like in the times of difficult production, that may be a way to kind of move things along a little quicker.
I have a prediction. What If has been strangely quiet. I predict they are going to announce it launches like 2 weeks after Falcon and the Winter Soldier end.
Yeah.
That it's going to be and the wheel keeps turning.
Well, and there's that, and I think we also haven't gone back to Star Wars. Like, I really think that ultimately what the menu that's going to play out is every Friday there will be something amazing and new, and we're going to go back to must-see TV, and it's going to bounce back and forth between a Marvel property and a Star Wars property, and that's just going to be where we are. Which, frankly, is fine.
Does it blow your mind, though? Like, when you look at the economy of scale on this, okay, let's say they get to the 230 million subscribers, which every indication is that that's going to happen. what just blows my mind is we've talked about Raya and The Last Dragon recently for another show. And we talked about, okay, that $30. You get to 230 million subscribers. If 10% of them pluck the $30 down, that's $690 million.
Yeah. Just take the fact that they're making, 230, I mean, right now, 100 million people are subscribed and they're making $8 per month from those. That's $800 million per month that they're bringing in.
And you get to 230 million, you're like 1.6 billion. You're a month you're pulling in on top. The numbers just absolutely go crazy. Yeah. Well, do you think Netflix is worried?
Disney's catching up. Now I'm curious. I mean, Pete brought up a great point with COVID and everything. How are things going to shift when things really start kind of leveling out as far as COVID, people start going out and doing other things? I mean, you're right, Pete. People aren't going to just dump all their subscriptions, but I'm wondering if that sharp jump that they had from 2020 to 2021 is going to really start kind of leveling out a little bit. And it may, who knows? I mean, it may still be 2025 by the time they hit that mark. Who knows? I'm curious, but I think Netflix has to be worried a little bit.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a big week. Mostly because I had two stories on the docket that I think relate to this, and the first one is, LA theaters open next week, and this is right on the heels of New York City theaters that opened last weekend, and in 2019, the Los Angeles market made up 9% of the overall, theater intake. So those could be big if we really have this COVID thing kind of, if everybody by May, June are going to be Iron Man, if 4th of July is going to be kind of normal, as we're hearing kind of live right now as we record this, what is that going to do to some of our media diet? That's number one. Number two is Netflix is testing a new feature, and I'm so curious if you guys have seen it yet. If you've seen it, you're bad.
Well, yeah, wait, I was going to say that's a trick question. No, I have not seen it. No. My parents, though, may have.
This is what I like to call, we know your aunt doesn't have 300 nephews. Netflix is finally cracking down on password sharing. It turns out that this is a thing that they're really looking at. So here we go. As a business story, as a technology story, they should have been doing this all along. As a business story, they did great by not doing this all along, because they gave everybody a taste, and now they have the technology, and they're saying, at scale, we think we can really, we know that if there's one Netflix account and there are 14 different streams in 14 different parts of the world, that probably you're sharing your password. And they have a new little message that they're testing that pops up that says, hey, if you don't live with the person who has this account, you need your own account. Please go get it. And give them a little option to sign up. So again, as a business story, I think this could bode very well for Netflix, to the tune that where, when we have Disney Plus and Netflix reporting their numbers, they're just not even going to report zeros anymore. It'll just be, we have all the subscribers and we're doing fine.
Right.
You know who else operates businesses that way, Pete? Drug dealers.
Yeah, right.
Here's a taste.
I was going to say, and Apple. Apple does that too.
Yeah, exactly. They all operate like drug dealers. Here's your free crack. Just taste it. See what you think. Now you got to pay for it.
You don't need to see numbers.
Now that you're addicted.
No, you know what though? I think honestly, it's time. Because look, I'm a believer that if you put in the investment, especially for content creators, you deserve to be enumerated. I think that's fine. I have no issues with that. And I think Netflix knows. I mean, whatever they're saying now, their subscribers, over 200 million?
Yeah.
Is that what they're?
Yeah. 206 or something right now.
So, you know what? Hopefully, in a dream world, this would mean a lower fees if they can get more people to pay up for it.
Well, and there's a practical thing too that I don't think people talk enough about, which is, there are all sorts of negative stories about how, really we just have the cable model again. You're just paying all the fees, all you want. But one of the things that we got rid of is contracts. The fact that I can dip into these services when there are shows that I want to watch and then cancel them and not pay for algorithm makes this a menu that I have at my disposal, and I can choose whether to pay monthly or pay annually. It's fine. So practically, I have reduced my overall bill for these things, even though I'm paying for multiple services at a time. We're still in disaster straits with, Hulu Live TV and YouTube TV. I mean, that's still, it's local television is having a rough time, but for the big entertainment networks, I think if you use it right, can work out in your favor.
How about the theaters? So what are we thinking right now of theaters? When's the nearest time theaters are safe?
That's a good question. I mean, we live in Arizona, though. I mean, our theaters never really closed. They've been open this whole time. So I see these news stories and I'm like, that's nothing. But really, I mean, it's nice that theaters are going to open. I guess I'm curious. I'm going to be really curious to see, now that they're quote open, how many people go, because even here in Arizona, I don't think the numbers are that big at the theaters. I've gone once and it was pretty thin as far as the crowd.
I'm going to get that stat right. The larger Los Angeles market provided nearly 9% of all box office revenue in 2019, while New York DMA turned in 7.4%. And at present, right now, as we record this, 46% of theaters in North America are operational. They're all in Arizona, according to ComScore. This is in Hollywood Reporter, link in the show notes.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm, hopeful though, but I think honestly, I think things are moving faster than I certainly expected, and that's good for everybody. Everybody, please continue to stay safe and do what you need to do. So let's be hopeful. Theaters will open. The movie industry, our big properties and licenses are going to start to awaken. We have a story here that Warner Brothers apparently has realized, hey, we have a character that everyone loves. You're all making money, gobs of cash, extending your properties. We could do the same with a little guy by the name of Harry Potter.
Oh, I thought it was the Ron Weasley story.
Hermione and Ron. We got Lois and Superman. Come on, we can do this. Hermione and that guy.
Yeah.
No, I mean, no surprise here. I mean, I'm almost surprised it took them this long to really admit that, yeah, we're looking at series. We're looking at taking The Cursed Child, which was the live show. I'm sure sky's the limit. It depends on who's willing to sign contracts and what's going to happen.
As far as this franchise goes, I think it all still boils down to Rowling and her signing off on things. Right. I mean, I'm assuming that's pretty much going to be the case. So really, it boils down to her and what she's willing to kind of let get put out there. So I'm curious. I bought the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, the book, kind of the play. Yeah. I haven't read it yet. And I don't know if that speaks to a lack of interest in the property, if I'm kind of tired of it, because Fantastic Beasts kind of wore me out, I'll be honest. I don't know. I just don't know. I just felt like the story was so good by itself. But again, it's the nature of the beast, right? You create something really popular, everybody wants more. And then it's the thing, do you leave them hungry for more and never satisfy them? Or do you give them more and then deal with the fact that some people aren't going to be thrilled with what you gave them? And that's always the case.
Or is Johnny Depp Star Wars available, or any and can we just get him signed on for everything?
Right, because that's what everyone's asking. Well,
we have a young Grindelwald story.
Everything's complicated. I guess my reaction to this was that because there have been some complications with certain of the names that we have just mentioned in this universe.
Yeah.
I mean, it will be interesting how they move forward. But I mean, they got theme parks, they got everything there. There's going to be more Harry Potter.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the story isn't worthy of plumbing the depths of its marketing potential. Like it is. Objectively, it's a fun story, and it's one people can relate to. So whatever you think of Rowling, I have some real problems with J.K. Rowling. I do personally, and yet I do find a great connection to Harry Potter for whatever reason. But sure, it's good stuff.
And it's interesting though, because they did build a whole theme park based off of this property, and it does make me think. very rarely do you have a whole park based on a property. I mean, at Universal, it used to be like, here's a land or here's a ride based on this particular property. Because then after like 10 or 20 years, people are like, yeah, I've been on the ET ride a whole bunch of times and I'm kind of tired of it. What's next? And they replace it with something else that's newer and fresher. And if they aren't going to do that with this Harry Potter universe, I would think that eventually people are going to hit this point where like, yeah, I've been to the park and I really don't feel like going again. What else are you going to give me? And that's the danger of creating these huge theme parks off something like this. Is like, it almost pushes the studio to say, you know what, you got to keep cranking out fresh material because we need the ability for the park to start changing things up. So you got to be creating new content for us.
Well, and you're 100% right, because you've read the rumors about already Disney, apparently, as they're getting ready to reopen the parks, they've already put in motion plans to reset parts of Galaxy's Edge to The Mandalorian.
Well, of course they did.
Oh, yeah. I mean, of course, because they were like, that makes tons of sense, right? Like, so... Well, that was a short shelf life, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing how quickly that giant Millennium Falcon became kind of broke.
Oh, man. Seriously.
Yeah.
Resistance, whatever. Just last thing I just want to bring up. I did think this was funny. Steven Spielberg is set to direct a film loosely based on his childhood.
See, and I thought that was your trailer pick this week.
Oh,
see what I did there? I beat you to the joke.
I was going to do an Arizona loop because he spent a lot of his adolescence in Arizona.
I just have to say, the building that I used to work in has his portrait on the side because apparently when he was young, he played his short film in that building on the Wallace and Ladmo show.
Oh, yeah.
And so yes, I have a very faint touch of that history from my own working life here in Arizona. So yeah, there you go.
Whoa.
What a weird movie, though. I just got to say, really?
Yeah. I thought
I hope it's thrilling, but I'm like, okay. I never remember stories about like the trauma of Spielberg's childhood. So.
Yeah, this didn't. And I did. That was a connection in my trailer because I got confused. Speaking of trailers, let's talk about some. Andy, you're up first. You have an interesting trailer about a journey.
Sometimes you're going through trailers and you're finding things, this could be interesting. This could be interesting. I don't know. Maybe. And then I stumbled upon this one. It's called The Tunnel.
Vi har snakket litt om julen. At det hadde vært hyggelig hvis vi feiret jul sammen alle tre. Elise, hvor skal du nå?
Kjørt til fjellveggen og sperret trafikken.
Gå linjen.
Lyset til den.
And it is a Norwegian film. Apparently, there are a ton of tunnels, and it's really kind of harrowing as to, I don't know if it's normally harrowing. You drive through a tunnel. But when something goes wrong in a particular tunnel, it can be incredibly harrowing. And this film, which is actually a 2019 disaster film from Norway, directed by, I'm going to probably butcher this name, Pal Ole. There you go. There's my best guess.
Great. You sound like a native.
Did I sound like I was from there? I mean, there are, it's one of those stories. It's a disaster film, right? You meet a whole bunch of characters and you're getting a sense of all of them. They all happen to coincide in this tunnel at the same time. And then there's a big tunnel fire. A truck crashes and creates this huge tunnel fire in this tunnel that's 9 kilometers long. There's ash everywhere covering people. No one can see, no one can figure out how to get out. And so we're following, Sven, the bulldozer driver, as he's trying to get people out, help people. Apparently people, there's family they're trying to save and all that sort of stuff. I love these sorts of films, disaster films. Even the bad ones can be often a ton of fun. And this has a sense of, I don't know, I guess I was thrown back to several disaster films from when I was younger. One is, of course, The Towering Inferno, when you're dealing with this fire in this huge tall tower. The other, of course, was the Sylvester Stallone film where they're all stuck in the tunnel.
What was that? Daylight,
yes. And it's flooding, and I just blending these two things. And I just reread Stephen King's The Stand, and there are several points where characters have to go through, Pete, you should know this, the Eisenhower Tunnel up in the mountains of Colorado, and it's completely full of cars, and it's just reeks of death, and you have to go through blind because you don't have any way to see or anything. And some characters have to go through a tunnel to get off of the island, off of Long Island. And so just this whole idea of tunnels right now, it's just like watching this trailer, it just really hit me. I'm like, this is going to be a really fun, interesting foreign film. I mean, it's Norwegian, but I just loved the look of it. I love the feel of it. What did you two think?
Okay, so first of all, I had 3 comments. One, there's no Sylvester Stallone in this, because I even had the note. I was like, there's no.
I thought that was contractually obligated on global scale in perpetuity. Amen.
Dude, come on. Okay, wait. It looks great. I mean, obviously, it exactly is everything you described. 2 things then I just want to add. As I'm watching it, was there like a shot of like a screen somewhere that said, "Hey, if you get stuck in a Norwegian tunnel, you're on your own"? And I was like, "Wait, what is that about? What do you mean? Like they're death traps in Norway? Why would we? No, I don't want that." Like
there was.
Okay. Yeah. That got me totally confused. And then the best is, and this is giving nothing away because it was in the trailer, there's a shot of like the bus entering the tunnel, and then just weirdly a little blue plastic bag goes flying in. And I was like, well, that's an odd thing to hold in the shot. Little do you know, that's the villain. And these buses have no windshield wipers. Destruction ensues. That's my take. Yeah.
It's the American Beauty plastic bag floating in the breeze that causes the accident.
Yeah. I thought it looked great and horrifying. It's one of those great disaster movies. I feel like we can now do a series of disaster tunnel movies because we've got Daylight, please. And there was a Korean film called Tunnel from 2015, 16, 17, somewhere in there that was really good actually, and not so much a disaster film, but like a kind of character drama, but it was really great. And so I think we got to do it. And this movie seems like it would be the perfect addition, celebrating the traditional Norwegian purple hair. And I thought it looked great.
Fantastic. Well, I don't see any release dates for it at this particular point in time here in the States. At this point, it looks like it opened in 2019 in Norway on Christmas. It was the Christmas release for people back there, and it's had a slow roll across the country. Right, I know. It's had a slow roll around the world. It's on internet, all sorts of different places now. And at this point, the trailer just popped up here in the U.S. So I'm assuming that it's going to get picked up for some form of U.S. distribution here soon. It just, at this point, hasn't been announced. But I will be looking for it.
Okay, I may have found this. I think I saw April 9th for video on demand.
Oh, great.
April 9th, video on demand.
So if that is true, now you're going to have a tough time because it's either this or Thunder Force.
No, we're not going to have a tough time, Rob. That's science.
I don't know if I'm going to have a tough time.
I think we did that last week.
So disappointing. Oh, breaks my heart.
Oh, you gotta live that anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, nicely done. All right, I am up next. I got confused. I was like, okay, what trailers? What's new trailers? I'm looking through them and I see Honeydew. I like Honeydew. Sometimes I prefer it over Cantaloupe. And I saw Spielberg and I was like, Spielberg? Well, that's a name I know. Well, then there we go. That's my trailer, right? And then I watched the trailer and I was like, well, I'm committed now.
That kid is staring at us.
You're on my property.
Do you know anything that might be open this late? Like a motel or...
Might be something further north.
Help! Sam!
Did you leave the hazards on?
Did I leave the hazards on? Hi. We were just wondering if we could borrow your phone.
Oh, please. Where are my manners? You two must be starving. Room for dessert? There's no online or phone service over here.
Sam?
You like cardamom? We were overindulging in God's feet.
Riley?
But we have been given an opportunity for absolution. So we may be judged in his image.
The movie is Honeydew. It is from director Devereaux Milburn, I would assume. This stars Sawyer Spielberg, yes, one of Steven's sons, I believe this is one of his first acting roles, Malin Barr and Barbara Kingsley. Okay, here's the deal. It's a horror film. If any of you have ever seen, Saturday Night Live did a skit one time about if Wes Anderson had done a horror film. It was a thing that involved Ed Norton. The title of that was The Midnight Coterie of Sinister Intruders. The title of this film, because it looks just like a Wes Anderson rural horror movie, would be The Afternoon Coterie of Sinister Cannibals. I'm trashing my own pick. That's
you
fine.
Really are.
I don't know what to say about this. What do you? I mean, no,
I don't know. I don't know why you're trashing it. I love this. I was like, oh my God, I totally want to watch this right now. This looks
and afterwards, I've got to watch
so
Scorsese's
weird.
Cantaloupe.
Okay, hold on.
I thought it was Coppola's, but
You know where it had me?
Quirky. That's the way we're going to characterize Honeydew. Put it on the poster.
Where it had me was in this one of the early scenes where the couple, the main two characters are in a car. There's this great shot that just the way the camera movement works, which is why I thought of Wes Anderson. The shot of them passing this guy on a bike. They stop the car. They look back and they go, "That guy's watching us." And then it cuts to this lanky, tall dude on a bike that is like 5 sizes too small for him, just stopped there looking at them. And I was like, what's happening here?
Creepy.
Yes.
Creepy.
Super creepy. But it's Wes Anderson. That's what I got. That's the vibe I got from this. And I was like, oh, okay.
I totally didn't get the Wes Anderson vibe, but I just loved everything about it. It was so peculiar. I love it when people, like, there's this great run of these horror films where they bring in some older actors to play some really interesting characters. And I love seeing them in this, like Barbara Kingsley. And just like, she just has this creepy look through it. And I don't know. It works for me. Everything about this, I hope it's good because the trailer is so weird. I'm totally sold. I am really interested in seeing this one.
Oh, Very nice.
Pete, you don't agree? Win. No, I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen with this movie. Is Andy's going to see it and love it, and I'm going to complain about it rigorously for a long time and say, "Oh no, I don't like horror movies," and "Oh, it's too scary," and "Why would I want to do that to myself?" And then I'm going to see it, and not unlike Midsommar, it's going to race up to my top 20 movies of all time. So that's what's going to happen. It's fine as long as we all know that going in. We're all fine.
Well, good news is we don't have long to wait. It began its limited release in theaters yesterday for us on Saturday, and then it will go to streaming services on April 13th.
Oh, that's coming right up.
I will be looking. Yeah.
I shall commence complaining post haste.
Awesome.
All right, Pete.
Pete, what do you got?
Yeah. So mine's kind of a teaser. It's a Shyama joint. Is that a thing? It's a Shyama.
Okay, so
it's a Shyama lane.
So we've got
Shyamalama.
Spielbergian, Kubrickian.
Yeah, I'm still trying to find what is it. What is it? It's a Shyama joint, and it's called Old. And we only have a little bit of a teaser.
Are we there yet?
This beach, it's beautiful.
My swimsuit is hurting.
They do look small.
Come on, let's play hide and seek.
Have you seen my children?
Mom, I'm right here.
He was 6 years old this morning.
Oh no.
Mom, I'm scared.
There's something wrong with this beach.
We were chosen for a reason.
What's happening?
I don't know.
I can't think.
Old. Only in theaters this summer.
I put this in because even though it's 30 seconds, it gives a lot of story in 30 seconds. It jams, I feel like I get it. I get what's going on, and I get the mystery. It's just a family on a tropical holiday who discover they're on the beach, and the beach, as they're relaxing, makes them old. And it could have been called 2020. Just what I think that's really interesting because we're seeing. I think we're going to see even more of these movies that are made or conceived, as over the last year, and really reflect culturally. They're holding up a mirror of that experience and what it was like for people. I don't know how long he's been actually planning this movie, but it felt resonantly 2020 to me. I thought it was really great. It's Gael Garcia Bernal. If you were a fan of the hit movie Blindness, wasn't that the name of it?
Oh, you're being mean now. You're digging.
I'm telling you, that was a white hot trash fire, that film. I could not stand it. But we also have Rufus Sewell and Thomasin McKenzie, and Alex Wolff is in this one, and Ken Leung and Eliza Scanlon. I mean, there are people that we like in this movie, and they are doing scary, creepy things. And I thought it looked great. I was very excited about it. I don't know. Was I Sixth Sense excited about it? I don't know. Was I Sixth Sense excited before I saw Sixth Sense? I don't know that either. I don't know anything. What do you guys think?
If I had to create an alternate title, and this is not meant, here's how I would describe this movie. It's Reverse Cocoon set in Lost.
Okay.
And that's good. That's not a bad thing. That's good. The second thing is all what you said, plus I was already trying to figure out what's the twist.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Well, what's right?
That's I don't know. Maybe there is no twist. Maybe it's just a bunch of people sitting on a beach getting old and watching their bones break. And then
what's the most horrible horror? Getting old.
Yeah.
Good luck.
That's it. You've already been there.
Yeah.
I'm curious about. It's based on a graphic novel named Sandcastle by Frederick Peters and Pierre Oscar Levy. And so now I'm curious to check that out to see, just kind of get a taste of the story beforehand. It really piqued my curiosity. I really loved it. I really love the fact that you picked a trailer that actually plays itself twice in the course of the YouTube link to make it seem longer.
I know.
I'm like,
really,
that was weird.
And weren't you watching to see what's different?
Yeah,
there's a reason why.
Right. Did they change it?
And I didn't realize it wasn't. That was just some movie trailer clips game. That wasn't even a Shyama twist.
Some weird thing. But I don't know. I don't know these graphic novelists, but the story sounds really fascinating, and it sounds like a really interesting. There are apparently in the book or in the graphic novel 13 people stuck on this beach trying to figure out how to get out of here before they all grow too old and die.
Fantastic. Sandcastles available in Comixology.
Yeah, love it. So cool. Awesome.
And that's a summer. All it was the teaser was summer release. We don't know anything else.
July 2021.
Oh.
Only in theaters, it says.
Yeah.
I am hopeful. That is great.
I also stand hopeful.
All right. That was wonderful. That was a nice selection of trailers. Okay. It's time for a change of pace. I had an interesting week where earlier in the week, I had seen an advertisement for a particular new piece of movie merchandise. And I said to myself, this piece of merchandise is so awesome, unique. I have to have one. And I said to myself, you know what? I think I can turn this into a game. So here's what I've done. I have curated various pieces of movie merchandise into 7 categories. I will present to you 3 items in each category. But devilishly, one of the 3 is a fake and exists only in the recesses of my imagination. You two will work as a team to correctly determine which one is the fake. Spoiler, 2 of the 7 categories are traps where all 3 items are real. It's time to play Movie Merch Madness.
Wow. All right.
And let me tell you something on that title. By the way, incidentally, that title is an example of alliteration featuring the letter M. If you like the letter M and alliteration, then check out the Marvel Movie Minutes Season 3 podcast, which recently released its comic primer and introductory episode to Iron Man 2.
If I can say something.
Are you ready? Do you think you're ready for this?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. All right, category number 1. I want to start something a little bit easy. Ease us into this. You're going to find the fake. I'll let you talk about it. No clues. Just I'm going to tell you what they are. Category number 1, Star Wars. Item number 1, a C-3PO ceramic tape dispenser featuring a conspicuously placed roll of tape. Number 2, a Tauntaun sleeping bag featuring an intestine patterned lining. Or item number 3, Jabba the Hutt's Tatooine Patty Frog Punch Bowl featuring a throne room inspired stand with goblets. Gentlemen.
Oh, wow.
Which
That's
one?
the easy thing?
This is going to be so much harder than I thought.
I was ready for this and then not suddenly and abruptly.
Okay. I'm going to say I want the
sleeping bag.
I want the Jabba. I want the sleeping bag to be real, and I want the punch bowl to be real.
I totally agree with
Those
you. The other thing, I don't even remember what the first one was.
C-3PO tape dispenser.
That's probably real. That's probably real.
That I'm going to say it's not.
I'm going to say it's not, but I think we're
awesome.
going to get burned. I want the other 2 badly.
So
I want them now. Yeah.
You want the C-3PO tape dispenser as the fake one?
I would sleep in that sleeping bag in bed with my wife tonight if that were here.
After having a drink from that punch bowl.
Okay, if that's your final answer, you are incorrect. The punch bowl is the fake item. I
really?
will tell you though,
that's a great idea, though,
isn't it?
It's a great idea.
That's we want the Tauntaun sleeping bag. For those of you who remember Think Geek, which is no longer in existence.
Yeah.
Yes, that was an April Fool's Day joke that they had that they were able to actually make and put in production. The C-3PO ceramic tape dispenser is C-3PO sitting down and the roll of tape is between his legs and you pull. Never mind.
Are you kidding?
My goodness.
No, that's real.
What?
That's totally real. It's like on eBay for a lot of money now because it's way gone.
Wow.
So, okay.
Wow.
All right. It's Rob. Okay. I win that one. All right. It's fine. All right. Here we go. Category number 2, clothing. Item number 1 is a Brokeback Mountain belt buckle from Brokeback Mountain. I felt like I had to add.
Thanks for making sure we knew that.
Item number 2.
I thought it was from Rhinestone.
The back is broke, right? Yes. Okay.
Number 2. Patches O'Houlihan's official leather bomber jacket from Dodgeball, a true underdog story. Or,
nice.
Number 3. A pair of Spartan leather briefs from the movie 300. which one is fake?
Well, I know those are real because I'm wearing those right now.
Okay.
Oh, geez. Okay.
All of these.
Wait, okay. So now I forgot what the first one was.
The Brokeback Mountain Belt Buckle.
Brokeback Mountain Belt
Just a
Buckle.
hula
Right.
hands bomber jacket, a pair of Spartan leather briefs.
The buckle, the bomber jacket, the leather briefs. One, I don't want any of those things. So that makes this really difficult. Much harder.
Easier. It makes it easier. Because now we're not biased by saying, well, I want that to be real.
We've removed bias, but now all three are equal. I can visualize the madness of having, maybe wearing a Brokeback Mountain belt buckle with my patches of Houlihan bomber jacket and leather briefs.
Yeah, see,
I'm going to say it's a jack and the belt buckle.
I feel like you're probably right because I feel like the 300, like while that is, I don't know, because that could be one of those weird gifts that people. That ends up being out there.
Is it? And
like, hey,
300 briefs.
I don't know.
It could be Rob playing with us because of the proximity of Zack Snyder's Justice League.
But remember, several of these, Pete, all three of them could be real.
Yeah, this could be a trap. He could have introduced an early round trap.
But here's the thing. Think about the movies.
Yeah.
How many, I can see there being a fan base for Dodgeball that is buying
I think
stuff.
That one's a lock. Do we take that one off the
I think
that's a
let's lock that one
right,
in.
Good.
Yeah. Is there a market for Brokeback Mountain fans to say, hey,
if only
let's sell some belt buckles.
Belt buckle and maybe some flannel.
Especially because, isn't the thing and correct me if I'm wrong, but Brokeback Mountain, it's all about the jacket. That's the thing that, he's hugging at the end and everything. That to me would be the thing that they sell more of rather than belt buckles.
So you're going to go with the 300 briefs as a gag, maybe as a gag gift, and the jacket as a fan gift.
I don't know. I mean, tell me I'm stupid because, the belt buckle does seem like a more normal thing to buy.
It sure
That's
does.
For sure.
It sure does. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would say,
or do we say all three are real?
Okay.
I'm gonna say all three of these are real.
We're gonna go all three, Rob. Rob, all three.
Well, unfortunately, it's the Patches O'Houlihan jacket is not real.
Really?
Now,
that was the one.
Let me tell you the story. First of all, and this is awesome, but you guys went way deeper in conversation than I expected on this. Okay. The Spartan leather briefs, the good fine people from Medieval Collectibles for $89 will be happy to sell you a pair.
I totally see that being something crazy.
Yeah.
People are going to want that.
Now, the Brokeback Mountain belt buckle, Ang Lee actually had 100 belt buckles made as a cast and crew gift, and many of them have made their way to eBay. Selling for as much as $1,500.
So they're quick release.
Okay. But I'm glad to know that was like a cast gift that now just there's a secondhand market for, as opposed to saying, hey, you know what's going to be hot this summer? Check out these Brokeback Mountain belt buckles.
You never know. All right. We're going to move on. Okay. Right now, you guys are down. Okay.
That's like McDonald's. That's the new thing.
Come on, kids. Have your Happy Meal with the Brokeback buckles.
I don't know if this gets easier or not. All right. Category number 3. Inanimate action figures. So these are action figures.
Inanimate?
Aren't all action figures
inanimate? What are we doing?
Well, hold on. Here you go. Number 1, the monolith from 2001: A Space Odyssey.
That's
number 2. Wait till I get it. Number 2, the meat from Rocky. So the side of beef that he's punching. Okay. And number 3, Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's. Which one's fake?
Believe that means you have found at least 2 of these.
Oh my God, this is ridiculous.
What are we doing?
You really have to wonder.
Okay, 2001, that's going to be a real thing because that's the sort of thing a movie collector, here's my Maltese Falcon and here's my monolith. This is my monolith.
I think the meat. the meat is real. I'm going to go with the meat because honestly, that's one that I would want to put on my desk. You know me. I feel strongly about that. I don't even remember what the third one was because I believe in the first two.
Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's.
I want that to be real. I really do. That's so funny.
Well, maybe it's maybe this is a trap. Maybe this is the one we've been waiting for. I think it.
This is okay. This is 3 of 7. We're in. It's almost 50-50. Yeah. Do we dare say? Okay. Okay. Is it like a Todd McFarlane thing? Like, would Todd McFarlane Toys, would they be selling them with the Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's, like kind of like lounging about somewhere?
That might be. Okay.
Maybe.
All right. It's either 1 and 2 or all of them. I don't feel as strongly about Bernie as I do the first 2.
So let's just do the first 2.
Okay. We're going to go with the first 2. Rob?
You're right. You win.
Oh!
so the monolith. Another product made by Think Geek. The meat from Rocky, was part of the Toy Wiz Rocky action figure line, which is absurd.
Nailed it.
There's no Bernie from Weekend at Bernie's.
You say
figures.
that like we're
funny
shocked.
though. That's
come on, everybody.
It's like Todd McFarlane Toys puts all sorts of crazy things out, and that's the sort of thing they put out.
Absolutely.
So I totally would have believed that one.
In a world where a side of beef counts as an action figure, I mean, come on.
That's right.
All right, okay. All right, category number 4. Oh, this is interesting. What's that smell? which, by the way, is also the name of a wonderful podcast in the Next Real Family of Programming, Season 5, currently keeping us all calm and pleasant during these turbulent times. So, smells. Item number 1, the Avengers cologne set smell like a superhero.
Wow.
Item number 2, the 007 candle smell like an Aston Martin mixed with a dry martini.
100% that exists.
Number 3, the Ghostbusters Ghost Trap incense burner. Who says smelling good is only for the living?
Oh, for crying out loud.
The fake.
All right. The James Bond thing, absolutely, because there's a touch of class.
I feel like the Ghostbusters thing is real. That seems like a strange bit of marketing that would be out there.
Dare I say it? Probably Think Geek, because now we know where Rob got all his stuff.
Right.
And the first one was at
the Avengers. Smell like a superhero. I
think this is the one.
I would say, okay, all 3.
I'm with you, Andy.
All 3.
Hashtag stand with Andy,
3.
Rob.
Yeah.
Son of a gun, it's tied. You guys win. Alan's right. Oh, no. Okay, so all of these are real things. The cologne set comes from, there's a company that has made various fragrances, Star Trek themed, whole bunch of different stuff, Star Wars
Smell
themed.
like a Klingon.
Not like the bridge.
Seriously. Captain Kirk, I don't know what he smells like. And then there's the candle. Yeah, this James Bond candle exists. That was a thing.
I feel like I've actually seen that.
That's real.
Yeah. And the Ghostbusters Ghost Trap was the incense burner was the thing I saw this earlier in the week that absolutely I was like, that's amazing. It looks just like it, metal. When you burn the incense, it looks like a ghost is trapped in the
yeah. Okay. Awesome.
All right, here we go. All right. Category number 5, plush playthings.
Okay.
Number 1, an alien chest burster and face hugger 2-pack. Number 2, a Starship Troopers 3-pack, Warrior Bug, Tanker Bug, and Brain Bug. Or number 3, adorable little Mikey Myers who comes complete with jack-o'-lantern and soft goods knife. Which one is fake?
Well, I know number 1 is real.
Yeah, I've seen number 1, or at least I've seen the facehugger portion of it, so I'm assuming the other portion is real.
Here's the problem with number 2 is, like, that's a movie that misunderstood itself. Who's going to make action figure or plushies about that movie?
That's a good question. Although now that's exactly the sort of thing that Think Geek would put out, because
you're right. That's a good point. Officer
it's
thinking
in retrospect. Yeah. And then so what was that seems like a cheeky sort of gift to give
compared to the Michael Myers.
Yeah. I think
it's
totally
1 and 2.
Something that
you're going to go 1 and 2.
Oh no,
I
think that Michael Myers could be. I don't know. I say 1 and 3.
Oh, I would go 1 and 3,
or all 3.
Yeah, I would go 1 and 3.
Yeah.
Let's go 1 and 3.
Okay, let's do 1 and 3.
Rob?
Oh, you win again. You take the lead. Are you serious? Okay, so you guys seen the chest burster and the face hugger.
Yep.
Yes, this stuff, Michael Myers. I want the warrior bug and the tanker bug and the brain bug. They had toys for that. That movie's a classic. Anyway,
well,
whatever.
You know what? Let's spin up the TNR line of plushies.
Plushies, yeah, merch.
Exactly.
Let's see what we can do with that. All right. Okay. You guys are in the lead.
All right.
There's two categories left. All right. Category number 6, cosplay curiosities. Number 1, the Harry Potter vibrating Nimbus 2000.
Oh God!
Don't quit it. Don't quit it yourself.
Wait a minute. I got to ask a clarifying question before you get to the next two. So after Harry Potter, are these like legit props for cosplay or like home manufactured, just things you've seen on the convention floor?
Oh, I think these are things that, let's say either they exist or not. Either they have been produced, and I should note, have either been produced and still available or produced and
produced,
you got to find them on the
for
aftermarket.
sale
Right.
at
exactly.
one point. Okay.
I'm just saying cosplay is just that you could be using these for cosplay.
Harry Potter, vibrating Nimbus 2000.
Vibrating Nimbus 2000.
Okay, vibrating. I'm glad you said that because initially I thought it was a crossover cosplay. I thought you said Vibranium Nimbus 2000. And I was like, okay, that's an interesting blend there.
No vibrating, no batteries not included.
Gotcha.
Number 2, Tony Montana's inflatable Colt AR-15 machine gun. Save your breath for Tony's little friend. Inflatable, emphasis on inflatable. And perhaps the ultimate cosplay, once you're done, number 3, an official Star Trek photon torpedo coffin, Planet Genesis not included.
Yeah. Give me the link because I'll buy that right now. And I will just put it on the wall with all the iPods.
Well, no, I mean, it's a coffin.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah. See where that light is behind him? It will replace that in the corner.
Oh, I get it. Yeah. And I'm going to sleep in it inside my Tauntaun sleeping bag on my bed.
Oh, boy. All right. Which one's fake?
All right. So we have the inflatable machine gun.
I'm sure that exists.
We have
Come on. That's
we have the coffin.
Easy money.
Wait a minute. Is this round 7 or 6?
Round 6.
Okay, round 6.
So vibrating Nimbus 2000.
So, but we're at a point, Pete.
Yeah.
Either this or the next is all 3.
Okay.
I think this is
paying attention.
This is it. I think this is the one.
Yeah, because the vibrating Nimbus 2000, I'm sure is
stupid enough to make sense.
That's right. The machine gun I question though, but in the world of cosplay, it also makes sense to do something that's inflatable because it's a lot easier to get through security when you're dealing with something that's inflatable.
And so easy to manufacture.
And it almost is funnier too because it's an inflatable machine gun, which makes it comical. So I'm fine if we want to say all 3.
All 3. Rob?
Dang it. I should have made this harder. You were correct.
Either that or we are just avid shoppers for a very
I love the progression here. You guys have gotten really good. The Harry Potter, it was an infamous toy that after it came out, parents were like, "Are you guys serious? You made this?" Does that happen? Yes, there is an actual, it's a licensed Scarface inflatable machine gun. And yes, you actually could have your photon torpedo coffin. However, the company Eternal Image, which was the purveyor of this, they sadly went out of business about 10 years ago. Wow. Shortly after getting the license from the Vatican Observatory, which I totally don't understand. What were you thinking?
Wow.
I don't know. Anyway, all right, you're up. Okay, well, this is it. You're going to win.
So we get a bonus round.
Well, I mean, here it is. The final category, number 7, cookbooks.
Oh, okay.
Number 1, The Anchorman Does Dinner, date night recipes from Ron Burgundy's Kitchen Sutra.
Oh, dear.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Number 2, the unofficial Hunger Games cookbook featuring breads from PETA's Father's Bakery and many other decadent recipes from the rich capital city. And finally, number 3, Back to the Future, the official Hill Valley cookbook, over 65 classic Hill Valley recipes from the past, present, and future. Which one is the fake?
And this one definitely has a fake.
The first one, it has to be real. I questioned the second one. The Back to the Future one, I feel like, you know what, I could see them coming up with something quirky like that because everybody loves like classic 50s, like mom used to make sort of foods and stuff. And then,
the future
they
stuff
also
is
have
the gimmick.
fun.
Yeah,
exactly. The second one, I don't know. I've already.
It's like the one though with the sanest. That's probably what makes it. Nobody's going to buy it because they can buy delicious breads in any cookbook on the shelf.
Yeah, and there's something comically weird about the Hunger Games, like the idea of the name Hunger, and then you're going to make a cookbook, and it's like breads.
Yeah, you're right. That's a high jump, low ceiling kind of experience. So I think we agree 1 and 3.
1 and 3.
Rob,
you are incorrect. The Hunger Games is real. Back to the Future is real. The Ron Burgundy one I really want. And I'm telling you, that's
sounded
a freebie.
So real.
From the Kitchen Sutra?
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Come on, jump on that, somebody.
Totally.
You notice we didn't even question that.
See?
That's brilliant.
I ended strong. Gentlemen, congratulations.
You
have beaten me.
Deeply satisfying, Rob. I hope that's not the only time we see this game played. I would like to listen to others deal with that.
And now I have a shopping list to plan.
Oh boy! All right. Well done. That was fun. That was some good laughs.
Outstanding.
All right. We go into now our lists, and I'm just going to say up front, I think I was the one who came up with this topic last week. The one that
you did.
One was distinct facial scars. Here's where I'm going to throw the curveball to you. It won. We're going to do it. Absolutely. When I went to start doing my research, when you search for distinct facial scars in movies, I don't know about you, but the first 3 hits that I got was an article from November of 2018 where the British Film Institute has announced it will no longer fund movies featuring villain characters with facial scars. They want to support the growing I Am Not Your Villain campaign started by Changing Faces, the United Kingdom's leading charity group for people with a visible difference, such as a mark or scar.
Yeah.
And I went, crap.
Yeah.
So here's what I did. I went a different direction. I found movies starring actors or actresses with actual facial scars.
Can I just tell you how funny that is? Because I did the same thing.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because I was reading those articles too, and I'm like, okay, well then I'm gonna do heroes or not bad guys with facial scars, and so I actually have that list. And then I kept looking, and I'm like, I'm gonna do people with real scars, and so I have that list too. So I actually have 2 lists I could pull from. Potentially, but that was the one I was going to go with. How funny is that?
Okay. That is amazing. Well, one, because I did exactly what you did. I tried to do the list of heroes with scars, and I only came up with 2. And I went, well, they may be right. So I got worried. Pete, what did you do?
I would like to reserve mine for my first round to see how quickly you get my theme.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
Okay, let's do it. This is hilarious. All right.
This is great. Since you are doing people with real scars,
right,
I'm going to go with my good guy list then.
Okay.
And then if I need to, I'll jump in. But I think this is thrilling that we have such a variety now. Okay, so for my first choice, I am going back in time to 1958 with an Akira Kurosawa film called The Hidden Fortress. And in this particular film, which George Lucas was quite the fan of because it does definitely have some Star Wars feels going on here, there is a particular character named Tadakoro who is the rival of our kind of the General Rokuroda, played by Toshiro Mifune, who they have kind of this rivalry that's always going on. And in this particular case, Tadakoro and Rokuroda have this duel, and they do this lance duel because they're kind of like these generals from these different camps, and it's a friendly rivalry. Rokuroda wins this lance duel, and Tadakoro says, we'll meet again. And so Rokuroda and the princess and the two guys, the peasants that they're with, they all go off. Later, they are actually caught by the soldiers, the bad soldiers, and they find Tadakoro. And he is there now, and he has been beaten by the bad guy, the head of the bad guys. And he has this huge scar going right down the middle of his face, saying that, they beat me because I lost that duel with you. And then he turns sides and ends up joining them, and they all escape, and that's the film. But it's a great character, and it's a great moment in the film because, they have this friendly rivalry, and he ends up kind of switching and joining them at the end. And it was great. And it's a serious scar, let me tell you. Like when they beat him, it's like this like giant thing right down the middle of his face. It's pretty horrifying. So that's my first pick, The Hidden Fortress.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding pick.
All right, Rob.
Okay, so I'm going to start with who the actress is. So my first actress is Tina Fey. I did not know this, and I had never understood. It's never really any of my business. But when I was doing this, I was like, okay, I want to find out like what is there a reason or a story behind this? Do you know that when she was 5 years old, and she revealed this in a Vanity Fair profile in 2009, when she was 5 years old, she was attacked in an alley behind her house by a stranger.
Wow.
That's how she got her scar. I mean, what? Like that blew my mind. And certainly love all the stuff that she has done, both film and TV. The movie I'm going to pick of hers, I've actually seen. I wouldn't normally have seen this movie. I saw it because my wife was watching it one day over a summer. It is Admission. It is a 2013 American romantic comedy starring her and Paul Rudd. And if you say to yourself, wait, Tina Fey and Paul Rudd were in a movie together? Yes, they were. It's amusing and funny. I'm going to leave it at that.
I remember the trailer for that one. I didn't end up seeing that one because it's like trying to get their kid into college or something,
yes. Right?
Yeah.
Yes. Admission is she's the admissions director of a college, I believe. Yes.
Right.
So,
wow.
Admission.
My first pick is a film from 1989, and there was a period where we were getting a lot of these alien and humans living together things. Do you remember some of these movies? They Live was one of them. Anybody else?
My Stepmother is an Alien.
My Stepmother is Alien. That's not the one I was going to choose. What I'm going to choose 1989's film Alien Nation. We're just resentment for the Tentkanese newcomers in the field that are living on Earth, and there's just real political and racial and speciesist unrest. And one of the main actresses in that film is Michelle Scarabelli.
Jeez, is that your just?
Okay.
Is that facial Scarabelli?
I'm just saying, when you get told that the AFI is telling you that what you're about to do is offensive, you go to the bottom of the barrel for your creativity here.
Hold on a second. You know what I love about this?
What?
None of us checked with each other on this.
I know.
So the hope was that one of us was going to go down in flames.
I know. I wasn't going to be that guy. I had awesome. The AFI article queued up. If you didn't do it, I was going to drop it as soon as I got the pick.
And let me just say, there are many more articles other than that one. It was everywhere I looked.
Yeah.
It's like how why do people still fall to the prey of this?
I know.
It's a big thing.
Dudes, yep. I would have been that guy. I would have been it.
Hey, I love movie makeup.
Yeah.
I think they do fantastic work. Yes. There are a lot of great facial scars out there. So, but yes, we obviously didn't all go that way.
We're not doing it.
For my second one, this is so many good ones to do now. I am going to go with Clint Eastwood's fantastic film, Unforgiven.
Oh.
Which I absolutely love. I think it's a fantastic, just a great Western. It's a revisionist Western about being an outlaw and stuff. And in this particular film, he is, you have this terrible, terrible sheriff played by Gene Hackman who runs this town. And the people beat up this prostitute. And they slash her face, and it's Delilah Fitzgerald, and she's permanently disfigured, and it's just, she's got horrible marks all over her face. And I mean, it's the makeup work is done well. It's painful to look at to see kind of what they did to her. And so they hire this group of prostitutes, led by Frances Fisher's character, Strawberry Alice. hire Will Money, Clint Eastwood's character, to come and take care of things. And it's just a thrill to kind of see Clint Eastwood at work in such a fantastic Western. And the way that, he's so not that great anymore, like he's clearly past his prime. But then at the end, when he's just like, little Bill, I'm going to kill you. And that whole shootout at the end, it's fantastic. And I just love that the way that the story unfolds is it's all about helping this prostitute who was disfigured at the hands of these cowboys who were just drunk and thought it was funny. And so that's my second pick, Unforgiven.
The movie that made Westerns cool again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you don't get Tombstone without Unforgiven.
Right.
And I didn't mention it was Anna Thompson who played Delilah. She's the one who had the face that was all cut up.
Nice pick. Okay, so my next pick, I'll start with the actor for this one, is Michael K. Williams. And known from The Wire. I remember, I think we talked about him in season 2 of the Marvel Movie Minute because he was filmed in scenes for The Incredible Hulk. Those scenes got cut or in reshoots. I forget how that went, but I believe we talked about that. He's talked about this. He got into a bar fight when he was in his mid-20s, and that was the cause for this. And he has gone on, obviously, for anyone who's watched The Wire, many other movies and appearances. There is a movie he is in that I'm just going to admit I didn't get around to seeing. I want to see this movie. I think I already missed it on HBO Max. Ed Norton's Motherless Brooklyn, which I have been meaning to get to, and that's my pick. So I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Can I say how funny that is? Because he was going to be my first pick. He was going to be the first one that I said. And I was going to use The Road because I love that movie so much. Oh. And he played the thief in that film who accosts them at one point. And but yeah, I absolutely, I think he's a fantastic pick. So great choice. And I haven't seen Motherless Brooklyn either. I know Steve enjoyed it. And it certainly is one I've been curious about since it came out.
Very cool.
Yeah, great pick.
Pete,
I am falling into Team Cabasco just left and right tonight because this is another movie that I haven't seen, but I'm picking it because I wager everybody's lives will be a little bit more entertained if they saw 1980s Can't Stop the Music. Are either of you guilty of seeing 1980s Can't Stop the Music?
No, I don't think. No, I haven't.
Have you heard of 1980s Can't Stop the Music?
Heard of it.
Yeah, you have, Andy.
Yeah,
because
you're a fan. It's the Village
People. You're a fan
one,
of the
right?
Village People. That's right. I knew that of the three of us, I knew you would be the guy.
I knew there was a reason that I had heard of that.
Because you used to dress up as when you were younger as the construction worker.
You make it sound like it happened often.
Yeah. Well,
I was the cowboy, Pete. I was the cowboy.
Oh, then you wouldn't have known that David Hodo, who did play, in fact, the Village People's construction worker for many years, had a nickname, and that nickname was Scar. My work is done on the second pick. I don't have anything else to contribute to that. Let me just tell you that this movie is a 4.2 on the IMDb 6-star rating of goodness out of 10. And so it's probably not going to win any awards, but it's also 41 years old and it's about the Village People. So I expect we should all be lining up.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm looking at the movie poster and I've never seen them in all pure white versions of their attire.
Because all of the Village People were virgins.
Is that
because they're wearing white? Isn't that what that's communicating to me?
I'm speechless. I didn't.
There's that vacuumous, that vacuum of silence that comes after a joke that lands truly exceptionally badly.
I didn't know where to go with that. I totally.
I'll take it. Hey, you can't put it back in the bottle. Go ahead.
No, it's there. Can't Stop the Music.
I love it. Can't Stop the Music, 1980.
I love it. I love it.
Nice.
So good. So good.
Andy, how do you follow that up with your third and final pick?
It's hard to follow. Anyone knows it's hard to follow the Village People. That's just a tough act to follow, period. For my final one, I am going to go with a film that I remember watching in the theaters. I thought it was actually really a strong film. It's a I guess you could say it's a type of a Holocaust film. It deals with it's a thriller about some people who go and try to kill, like they become agents, and they try to find this Nazi war criminal named the Surgeon of Birkenau because he was performing medical experiments on Jews during the war. But it's told over 2 periods of time, and you have 2 fantastic sets of performers playing these roles. When they're younger, it's Sam Worthington, Jessica Chastain, and I can't remember who the third one is. Is it Jesper Christensen? And then when they're older, it's Helen Mirren, Ciarán Hinds, and Tom Wilkinson. And they are, of course, trying to pay for the debt. The Debt is the name of the film from 2010. And of course, when she's younger, the character of Rachel, played by Jessica Chastain, gets scarred by said butcher. And you see her having the scar, and then you see Helen Mirren also having that scar when she's older and dealing with that. So that's my final pick, The Debt.
Outstanding.
Yeah, that's great.
That's an outstanding pick.
All good people. All good people.
Nicely done. All right. So my third pick. All right. So this isn't okay. I tied this into because I've seen the other movie I'm going to refer to. The actress is a person by the name of Dana Elaine Owens. You probably don't know that name. What you probably know her by is her name of Queen Latifah. Queen Latifah has a scar in the top middle part of her forehead. When she was in her childhood, she was playing tag with her brother. She tripped over a telephone cord and hit her head on the corner of a bathroom wall. And she has talked about that story many times. Now, before I mention her movie, the movie I selected is I've seen this and I've seen its sister movie. What do I mean? Because she is part of an infamous part of history as another example of why hosts of The Tonight Show should never attempt a movie career in films involving cars. The other movie I'm talking about is Collision Course, which was a 1989 action film with Jay Leno and Pat Morita.
Wow.
The movie I'm talking about of hers is the 2004 American action comedy Taxi, starring her and Jimmy Fallon.
You got 2 Tonight Show hosts. That has actually been a pick before. Taxi.
Has it really?
That's on me, baby. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That is a cherished one-time pick. I can't believe you broke the glass on that one to bring back Taxi.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, yeah, because I always try to look up. Okay, because that movie. Well, and honestly, when I saw it, I was like, well, this is Collision Course because of yours, and I've seen Collision Course. I don't think anyone else should. It just, stick to the Tonight Show, everybody.
Stick to the Tonight Show.
Don't worry. Jeez. Don't try to do anything else. You're too funny. You're doing good. Funny. Anyway, there's my final pick.
So what we're going to do here for my third pick is you're going to actually name my pick. And I'm going to start with a number of movies. And you're going to find for me which performer connects them. You see what we did there? It's a little game. We made a little game out of my third pick. Are you ready?
Yes.
Just Cause. Home Alone 3. Eight-Legged Freaks.
Oh, I love that one.
The SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
Wait, there's one performer in all these movies?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Crikey.
How about will.i.am, the Yes We Can video short? The Black Dahlia. Justin Timberlake, What Goes Around Comes Around. A Love Song for Bobby Long. The Prestige.
Holy cow. I can't think of anyone who's crossing. Scarlett Johansson.
Scoop! That was my last one.
I knew she was in Eight-Legged Freaks, and then okay, interesting.
Nice.
I was going to say David Arquette, but then I went no.
But it would have been that would have had to have been David Scarquette, and that doesn't fly. Scarlett Johansson. Thank you, Andy, for bringing that home. Well done. Good list.
I love it.
So what is the movie? What's the movie then?
It has to be Eight-Legged Freaks. Absolutely.
Andy's gonna put his thumb on the scale for Eight-Legged Freaks.
Yes, right.
Let me tell you, I read an essay this week on Under Her Skin.
Yes, love it.
And
why haven't we done a series on that?
I know, and I feel like that plus all the movies I just read, we could do a hell of a ScarJo series.
Yeah.
And
they throw Ghost World in there. Yeah.
Ghost World, absolutely. I don't want to do Lost in Translation.
I do.
I know you do. So, yeah, I mean, I just think she's done a lot of wonderful, wonderful movies, and she's incredibly talented. And the essay on Under Her Skin was fantastic, and I'm very much looking forward to Black Widow. So it's, a lot of ScarJo on the brain.
Okay. All right. That was amazing. All right. We've got to pick next week.
Before we do, I just think any good backups that you all had, because I've got some great ones from 2 lists now.
Well, okay. I didn't have backups because I did not expect anybody was going to pick Taxi. I was like, I'm in a totally different universe. But you know what the thing is? Listen, okay. When I thought of good heroes with scars in movies, I'm going to tell you something, and I know I'm going to be foolish when you're going to correct me. I can only come up with Inigo Montoya and Slugworth.
Yeah, both of those. I had both of those. I had Marv in Sin City.
So you're talking about, this is had we gone with the real scars.
Had I gone with the real, had we gone real before I Googled.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And all of mine are so ridiculously stereotypical to exactly what we shouldn't do. So, except for maybe, I think I could have gotten away with Darth Vader. At the end of
they all could have been from
Return
Star Wars. Let's be honest.
Yeah, they all could have been Star Wars, but his head
Luke
is an egg.
I mean, right?
And it's cracked in the middle, and that was delightful.
Yeah. I also had Frank, Colin Burnson's character from Disorganized Crime. It's not a big scar, but he's got a little scar on the side of his face. And I was like, that could work. For my real scars, other than Michael K. Williams, who you already brought up, Tommy Flanagan, he's got a great face with some great scars from, again, I think he got into a bar fight when he was younger. No, he was attacked. He was working as a DJ, and he was attacked outside of a nightclub with a knife. But I was going to do Face Off or Braveheart or Gladiator. He's in plenty of things. Adrian Pasdar, he's got some scars from a car accident on his chin, but they still cast him in stuff like Top Gun. And I was going to go with Solar Babies. That was going to be my pick for him. And then, of course, Stacy Keach, just because he has a cleft palate and he used to cover it up with a mustache for a lot of his performances, but I was going to pick the 9th configuration and found out that Stacy Keach is actually on the board of the World Craniofacial Foundation as a way to kind of say, you know what?
Yeah.
Be honest with yourself. This is who you are. And that's what he's decided to do. And more he's performing without it because he says, this is who I am. And that's, I think, an awesome thing. And Stacy Keach is great. So.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you both for redeeming my horrible submission last week. As a result, I will be saying nothing for this week. What's the movie? What are we picking from?
We're picking from Wall Street, which is number 8 in our list of Oliver Stone films. And so it's Wall Street, baby. So, I mean, there's all sorts of, shady business dealings, white collar crime. I love the idea of the Douglases and the Sheens, I think that's kind of a fun list idea because it's like 2 great movie families that you can pull all sorts of movies from. So just like the Hatfields and McCoys, the Douglases and the Sheens.
So that could actually be a really great one. Like just the list has to involve some sort of familial relationship.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Somebody from one of the families.
Only Douglases or Sheens movies.
You don't like that idea?
No, I like it. I just feel like there are going to be a lot of steals.
Are you kidding? You know how many movies between Kirk Douglas, Michael Douglas, then there's Charlie Sheen, there's Martin Sheen, there's Emilio Estevez. There are so many movies.
If there
are steals, then nobody's trying hard enough.
I thought you were going to say that the rule is they have to be in the movie together. It's like Young Guns 2.
No. No, it's like anyone from any of their families.
Okay. All right. Anyone from any of their families.
Yes.
All right. I don't know. I like all of that. I like New York City movies. I like movies where the bad guy does end up being the MBA. Evil MBAs. I don't know.
I also just love the idea of the stock market. I mean, I don't know if we've ever had the opportunity to do like stock market lists, like movies that somehow involve stocks. I think that there's an interesting...
Let's do stock movies. Yeah. Okay. Stock movies.
I'll put stock market movies because otherwise people are going to end with movies about cows. And, you know how people come to these lists sometimes. It's all about that remark. Chicken stock, right? Okay.
Oh, that would totally happen.
Right. Nice list.
Wait, what was the third one?
Wait, what's the third one?
I thought we were doing family.
New York City?
Family playing family, the Douglases and or Sheens and stocks.
We could do family playing family. I know we've tried that before. It's, I can't remember when. Fairly recently we had another film where there was somebody playing a sibling. I don't remember what that was, but I know we talked about it.
Was it a Gyllenhaal?
It wasn't a Gyllenhaal or a Cusack. I don't remember who it was.
And we just ate up the list. So maybe we do New York City movies instead.
It's broad. It gives people a lot of options. Sure.
Yeah.
New York City movies. Okay. There you go.
And that means next week, it's none of us. It's going to be the good Kyle Olsen, the good Mandy Kaplan, and the good Ray Delancey. Doing one of those. So.
Excellent.
Outstanding.
Plan accordingly.
They will have a great time. All right. Well, there we have it. Now, beloved listeners, we've had quite the blast on this Saturday with you. So much so, we don't want it to end. First, we need you to ride your elephant or vehicle of choice over to the Show Talk channel in the Next Reel Discord community and stamp your approval on the chaos that is list picking and movie sabotage each week. How does one retrieve access to this hallowed and exclusive Show Talk channel, you ask? Tell your elephant, who will never forget, the URL I'm about to recite. thenextreel.com/membership. No, I'm going to say it again. The Next Reel, that's with 2 E's, .com/membership. And when you go there, you will have 2 choices, which are so easy to remember, you will never forget them. Number 1, become a one-reeler and join our online community in our Discord server for $1 a month. Or 2, become a 2-reeler. You see what I did there? For a few dollars more a month and join us for show live streams as we record and early access to shows in your very own personal podcast feed. Sound like a dream, doesn't it? Well, when you wake up, you'll find yourself inside the super secret member channels deep within our Discord. And now you can support us with a single annual donation at either level as you become a contributing member of the Next Reel family of podcasts. But wait, there's breaking news. I've just received notice that there's more Letterboxd. Also, with just 2 E's, Letterboxd is now offering a discount to anyone listening to The Next Reel. Just head to thenextreel.com/Letterboxd and you can upgrade your Letterboxd account to Pro or Patron with a 20% off discount. This discount also works for renewals. My friends with The Next Reel, you lend us your ear and we'll reward you with riches of entertainment pleasure. And speaking of pleasure, gentlemen, what a pleasure this has been.
It's been fun.
I never want to host this show again.
Stop. Any final words? It was ridiculous.
Yes, just remember, Zack Snyder says his 4-hour opus is not canon.
Son of a bitch. Really? We got you.
You're doing great.
Thanks to everybody. Thanks for tuning in. This is Rob with Andy and Pete, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.